What's up, guys? How is everybody doing out there? I'm getting people asking me questions right now. Is the Philippines open? I heard it's open for tourism. Can you let me know what's going on? Guys, I am not the expert. I'm going to tell you that right now. I'm only an expert on my own life. All I can do is read the news to you. I don't have experts coming onto my channel to give you, what's going on in depth or anything like that. I can only read the news and try to understand the news about what's going on. So what it was 4 days ago, the 26th, they came out with an article in the news that said, the Philippines is open for international tourism starting December 1st. Okay, so we're going to check out the news article and let you guys see it, go over it with you. I do, however, because I am not the greatest reader, I do, however, have an expert reader helping me read this. So guys, let's check it out. Like I said, this came out the 26th, inquiry.net, and check it out.
Fully vaxxed foreigners for green countries can enter PH starting December 1 MANILA. Philippines fully vaccinated travelers from so-called green countries where a visa is not required will be allowed to enter the Philippines beginning December 1, although subject to certain conditions, Cabinet Secretary and Acting Presidential Spokesperson Carlo Nograles announced Friday. Citing Resolution Number 150 of the Interagency Task Force for the Management of Emerging Infectious Diseases, Nograles said that holders of passports valid for at least 6 months at the time of arrival and with a return or outbound ticket to their country of origin or next country of destination will be allowed to enter the Philippines. This rule takes effect until December 15, according to Nograles. Prior to arrival in the Philippines, the foreign national should have stayed exclusively in green list countries, territories, or jurisdictions for 14 days, he said in a palace press briefing. Under IATF guidelines, countries that are included in the green list may have their fully vaccinated travelers enter the Philippines without undergoing facility-based quarantine upon arrival. According to Nograles, foreigners who will enter the Philippines from December 1 to 15 must have proof of vaccination, such as World Health Organization's international certificates of vaccination and prophylaxis Vaxcert, or national or state digital certificate of the foreign government, which has accepted Vaxcert under a reciprocal arrangement, unless otherwise permitted by the IATF. Nograles said that arriving travelers should have a negative RT-PCR test within 72 hours prior to departure from the country of origin. Upon arrival, no facility-based quarantine and on-arrival RT-PCR test will be required. However, they are enjoined to self-monitor for any symptoms until 14 days after arrival. Travelers merely transiting through non-green list countries' territories, jurisdictions shall not be deemed as having come from or having been to said countries' territories, jurisdictions, if they stayed in the airport the whole time and were not cleared for entry. The IATF resolution reads: the testing and quarantine protocols of minors shall follow the testing and quarantine protocol of the parent guardian traveling with them. It also says, meanwhile, those who were vaccinated but failed to comply with the testing requirements before their travel shall be governed by protocols for unvaccinated individuals coming from green listed territories. Nograles said such travelers will be required to undergo facility-based quarantine until the release of a negative RT-PCR test taken on the 5th day. They should also monitor themselves for symptoms until the 14th day of their arrival.
All right, guys, there it is. That's what the news had to say. I'm not going to try to interpret what the news has to say. It's confusing to me. You guys seen it. You guys read it. Okay. But hold your horses, guys. Hold your horses. A couple hours ago, they came out with a new news headline here. It says the Philippines has suspended the allowing of international tourism here in the Philippines. And here's what the new article reads, and I'm going to let my my professional reader read it for you.
PH changes mind, stops entry of vaccinated tourists. Due to Omicron variant Manila, Philippines, the government has temporarily suspended a decision to allow the entry of fully vaccinated tourists in a bid to prevent a new heavily mutated coronavirus variant from entering the country, as most of the population remains unvaccinated. So far, the Philippines has not reported any cases of the Omicron strain, which was first detected in South Africa in mid-November and has since spread around the globe. The government announced plans last November 25 to allow fully vaccinated tourists from most countries to enter starting December 1, as it seeks to revive the battered economy. But the Interagency Task Force for the Management of Emerging Infectious Diseases (IATF) reversed course over the weekend, as it also announced the suspension of flights from 7 European countries, in addition to an earlier ban on arrivals from several African nations. The IATF deemed it necessary to suspend the entry of foreign tourists, given worldwide concerns over the Omicron variant. Immigration Commissioner Jamie Morente said on Monday. Covered by the ban are vaccinated foreigners from green list and other non-visa countries, or nationals of 157 states, who, in accordance with Executive Order Number 408, are allowed to enter the Philippines without a visa for an initial stay of 30 days. For instance, Brazilians and Israelis can stay in the Philippines visa-free up to 59 days, while those coming from India, Hong Kong, Macau and China can stay visa-free from 7 to 21 days, depending if they have return tickets or visas issued by other countries, and comply with other requirements. In his press briefing on Monday, Cabinet Secretary Carlo Nograles, acting presidential spokesperson, said the suspension was only temporary, but did not provide a duration. This is temporary, due to the Omicron variant. Let us just wait for the latest developments from the IATF. We continue to consult with our health experts and continue to actively monitor developments with regard to the Omicron variant. But in the meantime, resolution number 159, allowing the entry of tourists, is suspended, he said.
All right, guys, so there it is. the day that never happened, right? Everybody got excited. They'd seen this. The Philippines is opening December 1st, and they were booking things that are getting ready to come. A couple days later, by no fault of their own, they had to close the border again to allow international tourism to enter the Philippines. Like I said, I am not going to try to understand it, because things change here all the time. And I already said, things change here all the time. You can have a professional, and I can have a professional come onto my channel, break it all down for you, but you know what? The next day it changes. It changes, and that's what happens. I talked to my wife here, and I told her, I said, I wouldn't even think about coming to the Philippines. I wouldn't book anything. I wouldn't make plans as soon as I hear something, because things like this happen. Open it up, close it down, open it up, close it down. You're going to spend the money, buy a ticket, an airplane, book a trip, a hotel, everything like that, and it might close on you. And hopefully you can get your refund. Hopefully you're smart enough to realize to set it up to where you can get a refund. Me personally, and I know there's so many people that want to come here to see their wife, their fiance, just come here to be with their loved ones, or the new girlfriend they met online. Me personally, I would hold off a good month before even booking it, to make sure things are going to be up and running and they don't change things. This country changes things left and right, left and right. I've been here long enough to understand how things go here. You don't want to get here, you book I'm going to book a vacation here, book a vacation. In other words, you're going to come here, you plan to travel from this place to this island to this place and this island. You have everything booked, you have everything arranged, you paid for it, you land in the Philippines, you make that first stop on your vacation, everything goes good, you go to your next stop and you run into an area where the local authority still has the power to decide what's going on. Now you can't enter that area. They have allowed the local government authorities here to make command decisions. Even if the government itself would say, okay, free travel, the local government authorities here never get that memo, or they don't want to have that memo in their hand. They still want to make their own decisions. So I say, Guys, if you're looking to travel here to enjoy a vacation, at this point in time, if things open up, I would hold off on it. That's just me. You do what you want. You do what you want. Now, if you're coming here to see your girlfriend, your fiance, your wife, whatever, and you can get into this country, remember, you still have to get a tourist visa to enter when they do allow it. And you're flying in, and say you're flying into Cebu, your family's in Cebu or a big area, I would think you'd have no problem. But then again, like I said, guys, it is completely up to you what you want to do. Guys, I'm just reading the news. I am just reading the news to you because people ask me what's going on. And like I said, I'm not an expert. I am far from being an expert on the whole entire thing. And like I said in the beginning of the video, I don't have experts on my channel to break it all down for you. I'm just reading the news. So guys, the news you heard about the Philippines being open for certain tourists from green list countries, it's not happening. It's not happening. They just put out the memo, and like the name of the video states, the day that never happened. So there it is, guys. You can also always read this information online. Google search it. Just Google search it. It's there. You can read it. So I hope this helped somebody out that was wondering what's going on. And we'll talk to you later.